Okay, so cut to anywhere you want in the deck, and guess what? That's where my ace is. Now imagine doing that 4 times where you cut to the ace every single time. I got you. Alright yo, so check this out. For those of you who are curious, these are the One Piece Nico Robin playing cards. And I'm going to start by first giving the deck a bit of a shuffle. That's just what we do around here. By the way, these cards handle much better than I expected, so I'm pretty happy with them. I like how they feel. So the whole purpose behind this card trick is to demonstrate for you how people cheat at cards by cutting to whatever cards they want. And one of the most wanted hands in any card game is like a 4 of a kind. So for example, if I ask you to think of 4 of a kind, most of the time people think of 4 of a kind aces. Now I don't want that to happen. I want you to pick any number you want. Let's just not go with an ace. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, any number that you want, just not an ace. So think of any number. Let's just say you thought of the number 10, all right? So you tell me the number 10. Now let me show you. The 10s are going to be spread out throughout this deck. Or as far as I'm aware, there should be 10s in this deck. So for example, we see a 10 right here, and I'm sure there are 10s spread out throughout this deck. Now the whole purpose here is going to be able to cut to those 10s without seeing where I'm cutting. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to shuffle up this deck just a little bit, nothing too wild. And it's a bit messy, but just bear with me. And I'm going to try to memorize the positions of the 10s now that I've shuffled them up. Okay, I think I should be good. So here we go. We're going to try this one time. I'm going to cut to the first 10. I think it was around here somewhere. We'll take this, put it right over here. I'll cut to the second 10 is around here. Take this, put this right over here. Another 10 I think was actually pretty close to it. I think around here. And the last 10 was around here, so I think we should be good. Now, of course, we could have cut to any spot in the deck. All the cards are different, but we cut to these 4 spots. And check this out. Here we have 10 number 1, 10 number 2, 10 number 3, and 10 number 4. That's pretty cool. What up, crew? It is Magic Monday, and this is your place to learn magic, master your performance, and captivate audiences. The trick I just showed you is known as You Like It, because you know that I know. You like it that way. And it's from the Card College Series Volume 1 by Roberto Giobbi. The way that I did this card trick in the performance relies on one key move, and there is a decent amount of practice required to learn that move. This move can be used in so many different situations, and still it'll only scratch the surface on what you can do with it. So you gotta learn it. Now before we begin, make sure you smash that like button, hit subscribe, grab your favorite deck of playing cards, and now, let's do it. Alright, so you made it to the tutorial. I hope you like As You Like It, because it's a very interesting trick. I'm not a huge fan of this trick just because I feel like the amount of effort used to actually do the trick is probably not worth the level of outcome that you get in terms of reactions. But I think this is a great trick to even practice your skill set. And again, if you could do it to impress people, you should 100% do it. So I'm going to break this down into 2 parts. It's going to be simple and more advanced. For my performance, I did the more advanced version. But for the tutorial, again, like I said, I'll start with the simple version, then we'll go into more of about. Sorry, I lost my speaking skills for a second, but we'll get into the advanced tutorial right after the simple one. Got some cash money right here for all the gambling games, as you know, all singles, so, you know, I'm loaded. So the simple version of this trick does not rely on the key move that I was talking about earlier, but it makes life much easier. So what you want to start off with is pick any 4 of a kind. So let's just say we're going to pick the 4 3s. Okay, and you're going to force one of the 3s onto your spectator. So we have 4 3s right here. You want to start with them on top of the deck, and now you want to force, sorry about that, you want to force one of the 3s onto the spectator. So a very easy way to force is the cut deeper force, where you ask them to cut about 1/4 or 1/3 of the deck. So they do that cut, flip it over, put it on top of the deck, cut a bit deeper, maybe about 2/3 of the way in, flip that over, and the first face down card will be their card, and that'll be a 3. Okay, and you can go kind of do it that way, but if there are any other forces you want to use, you can do that as well. One of my favorite forces actually is the cross-cut force. I don't know what happened to my speaking skills today. One of my favorite forces to use is the cross-cut force because it's so simple and it blows people away. So what I would actually do in my performance is I have the deck set up with the 4 of a kind on top that I want to use for the spectator. I'd have them cut the deck anywhere they want, let's just say around here. So once they cut the deck, let's say deck's on the table, they give the deck a cut. You want to mark where they cut, right? You're going to say, I'm going to mark where you cut like this. So take this pile, turn it horizontally, and put it on top. Now you do this right at the beginning. Okay, you can do a false shuffle, a couple of false cuts to keep those cards there, but you do this right at the beginning, and now you're going to start explaining to the spectator, I'm going to demonstrate for you how cheating at cards work. most people who cheat can deal out any 4 of a kind or cut to any 4 of a kind, which is one of the most wanted hands. So now, while you're doing all this talking for the spectator, they're kind of going to forget what actually happened here. What actually happened was they took the top half, put it here, and then they just marked that top half. So when you come back to this, after you're done explaining to the spectator what's going to happen, you remove this and have them take a look at the first, at this face down card right here, and that's also forcing the 3 diamonds. So this is what I would actually recommend, but again, feel free to use any force. So they do that, they take a look at their card, and now that you know what their card is, or now that they know what their card is, you're going to take this pack and put it back on top, and then give it a false shuffle or false cut. One of my favorite false cuts goes something like this. Hold the deck in a biddle grip with your dominant hand. Swing cut over about a third of the deck into your dominant hand, like this. Swing cut over half of the remaining deck. Mark the difference between the two with your pinky like this. You're going to take this pack in now, put it down, put this down, and put that down. So we have the 4 3s still on top. Up to speed, it looks something like this. And very believable while maintaining those 4 3s on top of the deck. Once this is done, right, you force the 3s, you force that 3 onto the spectator. What you could do to kind of sell this effect a bit more, and again, this is completely optional, you can go through the deck like this and just say that you're looking for the 4 3s that, since that's the card that they selected. You're looking for the 4 3s and going to try to memorize their position. Once you've done that, now is where the actual, trick happens. So you're showing the spectator that you're going to demonstrate that a card sheet works in this way. You're now going to do a couple of undercuts, okay? So you're going to take a break above, or sorry, to break below the top card. So you get a break below it using your thumb. And now what I like to do is riffle through the side of the deck, come to kind of the low 1/4 to 1/5 of the deck. You're going to cut this to the top. So this is an undercut. You're taking a packet of cards, bringing it to the top, and you're going to bring it to the top above your break here. You line it up, and then you break off the cards. So here, you already control the first 3 on the bottom. And all you're going to do is repeat this process 3 more times. So again, you do this. That's 2. Do it again. That's 3. And do it one more time. You want to make sure you don't take this entire packet and just bring it to the top. Maybe take 2/3 of this packet or half of this packet. Bring that to the top. Cut this down. And you can show the spectator the rest of the cards and say, you could have cut anywhere in the deck, all the cards are different, and throw that to the side. And then you're going to cut everything over, or turn everything over, to reveal that you've cut to the 3 4s, the card that they selected completely at random. So that was, of course, the simpler version. Let me show you the more advanced version. The ending is still exactly the same, but the only difference is how the card is chosen at the beginning and how the cards are controlled. So you're gonna, do the same thing. Tell a spectator the entire story of 4 of a kind. They can select any card they want. They can select the ace. It's not a big deal, but I just like to have them select another card. Let's just say they selected, I don't know, a 6. So what you're going to do is what's known as the Roadrunner call. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with that move, it's kind of a subset of the call, where in the call, you're going to one card. For example, let's say we're looking for the ace of spades, right? So we're looking for the ace of spades in the deck. The ace of spades is here. What you do with the call is that you bring this card to the back like this. You continue spreading out, and then when you close up, you control that ace to the top of the deck. I have a tutorial, by the way, on the call. I'll put the link to it on the screen. You can go ahead and check it out. But it's one of the coolest moves one of my favorite card controls ever. Okay, and like I said, the spectator selected the 6. So you're gonna go ahead and show them the 6 is located in multiple different spots in the deck. So as you're coming through, you see the first 6, you're gonna call this 6. So again, the way I call, just a quick tutorial. I'm showing the 6 to the spectator. My index finger, no, sorry, man, not my index, my middle finger and ring finger are gonna pull that card back. You wanna make sure it doesn't go up or down here. You wanna try to pull it as straight as possible to keep everything aligned with the cards. And now you're gonna feed the cards behind it as you're going through and looking for the next 6. You find it, you do the same thing, pull it back, and you keep on spreading out. And you're gonna gather all of the 4 6s like this. So that was a bad call. You wanna make sure that when you're doing the call, it looks very smooth. And sometimes I even use a bit of misdirection when doing the call. This way, they're not completely on top of me and just grilling me down on it. So you've controlled the 4 aces now to the back of the deck, and now you're gonna do the reveal in the exact same way where you're undercutting and cutting this, grabbing that break, and you're controlling the 4 6s to anywhere that you'd like. So that is As You Like It, and you may do it as you like. Like I said, the main concept used here is the cull, more specifically the Roadrunner cull, which allows you to cull multiple cards. I created an in-depth tutorial on my Patreon for the Roadrunner cull, so if you want to check it out, I'll put it as the first link in the description. It would be great to have you on there, and I guarantee you, it will improve your magic. And if you want to learn how to do the normal cull, I'll put the video to that right over here. Thanks so much for spending your time with me. Love you guys. Have a great day ahead, and I hope to see you in the next video. Deck drop.